great players, they have a great organization, and you tell them one thing,
What is good, Raider Nation? It's your boy Raider Alex back with yet another video for you guys. Anybody that's new to the channel, you guys love Raiders related content just like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Make sure to hit that bell notification, that way you get notified every time I post a video just like this one. That being said, let's jump right into the topic of this video. The Las Vegas Raiders are in desperate need of a dominant linebacker on this roster, in my opinion. Now look, I just made a video about the Raiders potentially trading for a linebacker, Devin White, so if you haven't checked that out, go ahead and do so. But if you are not a huge fan of us potentially going out and trading for Devin White, especially with the recent report stating that he will be looking to get around $18 to $20 million in his next contract. Now look, I more than likely probably won't get that, since he's not a complete linebacker compared to a guy like Roquan Smith, who eventually got that $20 million per season. But anyways, there could be potentially another star linebacker on the trade block that potentially the Raiders could take a look at, and this is Baltimore Ravens linebacker Patrick Queen. He is rumored to be a potential trade candidate for the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens, by trading away Patrick Queen, can save about $2.2 million in cap space, and they can acquire much needed draft capital for their team. The Ravens in this year's NFL draft, they only have 5 total draft picks, and on the contrary, the Las Vegas Raiders, we have so many draft picks. We have 12 total draft picks. So if we wanted to trade away some draft capital for a young, on the rise linebacker, we could potentially do so. The Ravens also went ahead and traded for star linebacker Roquan Smith, and they went ahead and made him the highest paid linebacker in the National Football League, paying him $20 million per season. And Patrick Queen is still very young, going into his 4th season in the National Football League, and in all 3 of his years in the league, he has yet to miss a game due to injury, so he's been very reliable and durable thus far in his career. Patrick Queen's cap hit next season will only be $3.8 million, and that definitely works very well for the Raiders, because this year in 2023, look, we don't have a lot of cap space this season due to all the dead cap money we're paying for certain players that are not on the roster. But next year in 2024, the Raiders will have a lot more cap space, and that's where the Raiders, if they ended up signing Patrick Queen to a long-term deal, that's where we could definitely make it work. And also, Patrick Queen being a former first-round pick, the Raiders, or whatever team ended up trading for him, could exercise his 5th-year option, which would only be $12.7 million. And now look, when it comes to Patrick Queen, this is just pure speculation and rumors at this point when it comes to him potentially getting traded. It's not the same scenario compared to Devin White, where Devin White has officially came out and demanded a trade, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on, as the Ravens may not be able to afford to keep him around in the future, especially if they end up reaching an agreement for their star quarterback Lamar Jackson, who is set to break the bank. They just paid wide receiver Odell Beckham $18 million as well, and they made Roquan Smith the highest paid linebacker in the league. But personally, trading for Patrick Queen, I think this would be the most ideal situation for the Raiders, since Patrick Queen is so young and we have a huge void at the linebacker position. I think he would cost less too in terms of draft capital and his contract compared to trading for Devin White. Now don't get me wrong, I wouldn't mind trading for Devin White either, but I think Patrick Queen would be a better overall fit. And I think Patrick Queen would also be a very good fit in this system, in this defense with Patrick Graham. Now it'll just be interesting to see how much draft capital it would take to trade for him if the Ravens were interested in this. Now Roquan Smith ended up going for a 2nd round pick and a 5th round pick, so the Raiders could get away with trading for Patrick Queen without having to give up the farm in terms of draft capital. I say you could easily give them this year's 2nd round pick and maybe next year's 4th round pick, maybe even like a 3rd round pick next year, and that would be a fair trade for both parties. But by the Raiders trying to make a move like this, trading for a star linebacker, whether that be Patrick Queen or Devin White, this would be an aggressive move by this front offense. And look, just based on how this offseason has gone thus far, it doesn't seem like this is something we would do. Let's be honest, overall this offseason in terms of free agency up to this point, the Raiders front office, their moves have been very conservative, so it might be a long shot for them to trade for a star linebacker, but you know my thought process, I would love to do it. The linebacker core on this group has been a huge need for years, and I just think we need a guy that's proven that can help the overall development of our young linebacker core like Divine Diablo, Luke Masterson, and I'm sure we're going to draft at least one linebacker in this year's draft. But Raider Nation, let me know what you guys think. Would you want the Raiders to try and go ahead and trade for Patrick Queen? Let me know in the comment section down below. But with that being said, Raider Nation, that's all I have for you guys in today's video. Anybody that's new to the channel, you guys love Raiders related content just like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. That being said, I will see you guys in the next one.